3 times, 4 times. Doing gang things, living super clean. That done came up. Can't control us. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. Look at you, you done came up now. Get it how you live, mess the game up now. Ain't messing with yoga, but get the flame up. Hey, used to be Toby, but got your name back now. I see ya, paid under pressure. 25 lighters, got them all on the dresser. If it ain't for you, ain't for you then. If you a lame or a sucker, wanna dress you then. Grown up now, bump the childish ways. Got a wife and a bunch of kids to raise. Punch a clock side, hustle or a business you endure to ensure that all the bills is paid. Slow clap for your homeboy, could've turned out like your homeboy. Been on the same block, cooking up the same rock on the cell block lot with your homeboy. But no, you had vision, you had gold. Brand new you on the old time road, take care. Home where you bust your low. Black men don't cheat, screaming bump the hoe. Real men talk, real king ways. Still in activity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom, boy, you PD grade. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the folk that have moved up. Even if you had to start screwed up. Used to gang bang, now homie brewed up. Had a little plan, I had them blew up. Look at you like a man right now. Dressed to the T, smelling like a grand right now. And you ain't got nothing from a handout now. Just faith and hard work, gets it planned out now. You could've took a bunch of dusty rolls. The hand dealt with a bunch of cards to fold. To stay hot while the world is freezing cold. The same plot, but the story's never old. Slow clap for your kinfolk. Could've been asking what your info.
Shalom, Mo. Shalom. Shalom and shalom to everyone. Come on in. Give me a like on your way in, please. You know you're here because you love me. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up button.
Yeah, man, this real men talk. Real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom, boy, you peep these grades. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. Yeah, real man. Sheesh. Yeah. Doing gang things. Living super clean. That done came up.
1 time for my king doing king things. Mom these hoes cause he know he got a good thing. I submit and I cook and I clean and I never hold back on that wop. I'ma let it rain. Made me honest, I got a ring. All praises to the most high, let it sing. A real man able, sister never came. And I ain't going nowhere, this is not a game. Look at you, girl, you lonely right now. Settling for bums instead of men the most high. He provide and protect so he get our respect. And he leading us aboard when them chariots fly. I don't really think you hear me though. You can't cross this bridge on some billy goats. Let them save you in the end like a Seminole. Be as help me, shout it, let the silly go.
1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up.
Jacob, wake up. Shalom and shalom.
Dead fresh to the T, living super clean.
Shalom, Angelina. What's up, girl?
4 times cause the man can't control up.
All right. Shalom and shalom, sisters and cousins, and praise the Lord, saints. It's your favorite housewife, Miss Mano. Hello. Good evening to you all. Hold on, why this chair on? Okay, there we go. I had to get that out the way. It's messing up what I got going on. Shalom and shalom. If you are on my IG, please head over to the YouTube at Monologue Magad, MONOLOG MAGAD. If you're already on the YouTube, please hit the like button for me. You may see the live chat in front of you. Hit the X and you'll see the thumbs up. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up for me. Like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends. Tierra Montgomery, Shalom. Shabbat Shalom to you if you were on the lunar Sabbath and the sun is still upon you. We just got finished with our Sabbath. All praises to the Most High. It was wonderful, wonderful. I know I told some of y'all I was going to reach out to y'all this week about interviews, coming on the show and stuff like that. I've been busy, okay? I've been super busy. The kids are home from college, so I've been super mommy, everything else. So please do not hold it against me. I promise you next week things will go back to normal. So I didn't forget about y'all. All right, so I told y'all I was going to be trying some new stuff, right? And my husband's getting on me about having names for segments to help the show flow. So I'm going to be trying out some stuff. Let me know what y'all think. If you like it, say that. If you don't like it, then you could just DM that to me. You don't have to share that with everybody. Speaking of husbands, shout out to my husband, the awesome, wonderful head of my household, the love of my life, Monologue McGad. If you have not already, please download the album Just Hold On. It's available on all streaming platforms. You will love it from beginning to end. I'm not just saying that because he's my husband. I say it because it is true. Why after the podcast, flip through our YouTube, check out some of the videos. There's some old stuff, there's some new stuff, some old and new podcast episodes. You can take a chance to get to know us through our YouTube channel. And also, I am now streaming live on the Messiah TV app. So, people on your TVs, your smart TVs, your Fire Sticks, your Rokus, Apple TVs, all that good stuff. The Messiah TV app. Go ahead and download it. Not only does it host this wonderful show, but there are some amazing documentaries on there. I watch it a lot, amazingly, because I'm just surprised at the stuff that's on there. So please go ahead, download the app, check that out. Let us know. Okay, so I don't know how many of y'all have seen any of Deion Cole's Netflix specials, right? But he has a part in his specials where he'll pull out a piece of paper. He'll be like, all right, I'm gonna try some jokes on y'all. Let me know what you think. Okay. So I'm gonna try some segment names on y'all. Let me know what you think. Okay. So this first segment is gonna be called What's Going On in Babylon. Okay. And let's get into it. Y'all can tell me what you think. The first story we want to talk about is Shanquella Robinson, our dear sister who lost her life in Mexico, actually had her life taken from her by some people who she thought were her friends while they were on vacation in Mexico. So arrest warrants have been issued for, I believe, at least one of the people involved in that incident, and the FBI is involved. So they're going to get these people. Like, this is a national thing, and how can I say this? As much as this part of North America may tolerate that, not every part of North America will tolerate this. So hopefully, prayerfully, we can get some justice for the sister's family. They are being charged with femicide, which I'm assuming is a Mexican legal term, because I have not heard that be used here in the United States. It's usually just homicide, right? But from what I was reading on this, she's being charged with femicide, which is a hate crime based on gender. So basically a hate crime based on the fact that she's a woman. That's what this particular person is being charged with. So we'll see how that plays out. But please keep that sister's family in your prayers. Okay. All right. So for this next story, when somebody said it to me, I was like, what are you talking about? You got to be crazy. And I think one of my daughters heard it too. And they were like, no, that's not true. So I went and looked it up, and it is true. So the past 12 days, I think it might actually be 14 days at this point. For the past 14 days, a flock of sheep have been walking in a perfect circle in China. So there are 34 pens of sheep. Let me get to this comment by Angelina. I hope they get justice too. I really do. I'm glad that the FBI got involved, and I'm glad that they're not just sweeping this under the rug, because someone was worried that because it was in Mexico that the US didn't have any jurisdiction, and that because these people had came home from Mexico that they were going to go free and clear. And I'm like, no, that don't sound right. So all praises that that's not happening. And yes, I hope that sister's family can get some justice and some kind of peace in this situation. Shalom, V. Thank you so much for joining me. All right, y'all. So back to the sheep, right? Okay, so it's been like 14 days now. They've been walking in a perfect circle. So there's 34 pens of sheep, right? Only one pen, one container of sheep is doing this. It's pen number 13. Of course, they pointed that out because, superstition, whatever. Nobody has an explanation for why these sheep are walking in this circle. They said it may have been a disease called hold on. Listeriosis. I've never heard of this disease before, but it's called listeriosis. It causes disorientation, and some other kind of weird symptoms in animals. But the thing is, they die within 24 to 48 hours of the symptoms appearing. So that's not the answer. Chariot Views, shalom and shalom. Thank you for joining me. So they still are trying to find an explanation for their weird behavior. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Monologue McGad, everyone. I'm running late. I was running late, and he bought me my tea because he's a good husband. Oh, and a coaster. Wow.
Yeah, don't we messing up my table.
I got a tip for you later.
Done.
That's the spirit. Shalom, Israel. Shalom. Shalom, shalom. It's not only happening in China. I heard it wasn't only happening in China, but from my limited Google time, I didn't see it. So I guess that's mainly where it's happening or whatever. I don't know. How they all circling in order if it's making them delusional. Yeah, right. They're going in a perfect circle. I know that they say that when birds and other animals start moving in weird patterns, that it's an indicator of some type of natural disaster or some type of significant shift in the earth. So, if you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? Those of us that get it, get it. Adrian Pinkney, shalom and shalom. Thank you for joining me. Thank y'all so much for joining me. Please hit the like button for me. If the live chat is in front of you, hit the X. Give me a thumbs up. Like, share, subscribe. Turn on your notifications. Tell a friend. Okay. I got another segment name for y'all. Let me know what you think. This segment is called Wickedness of the Week. Okay. And this segment is going to be for just the extra lowdown because it's all kind of stuff going on. But this is just So, rest in peace to the victims of the nightclub shooting. I understand it was a gay nightclub. But these were still humans, okay? These were still people. All right. But 5 people were killed and 18 people were wounded in a gay nightclub shooting. The defense attorney for the shooter has come forth and said that this cannot be a hate crime because I need a drum roll, but I don't have one. This cannot be a hate crime because the shooter identifies as non-binary and uses they, them pronouns. I'm really confused. And let me tell you why I'm confused on that. Because does your assumed gender make you exempt from hate? Why isn't it a hate crime? I don't understand. But anyway, yeah. this person is currently in jail, awaiting trial and all this good stuff. But right now, they're trying to have it not labeled a hate crime, so then it's not the punishment is not as severe. But dude, like, you're pretty much going to be under the jail. I'm not sure what the argument for the distinction is. Like, that's not clear because this was a mass murdering. Like, you're going to jail, you're going under the jail. You should never see the light of day again. So I'm not sure what the fight for this kind of distinction is or whatever, but I don't know. All right. Oh, I should have said this in the other news segment. Okay, but I'm doing it now. Like I told y'all, I'm working with this stuff. So y'all work with me, while I'm learning it. Okay. So people are not turning on their heat. Despite freezing temperatures due to rising food and gas costs. And from what I could read, from what I read, this is mostly people that deal with oil in their heaters. I don't know where, what most of y'all do. Like here where we are, we just have central heat. You turn on the heat, it comes on the gas, whatever. Um, but like I know, like my aunts in the north, they have to have oil put in the tank, and that heats up the house. Okay, so now, but the price of oil is just so much out of hand, as well as the rising cost of food. People are having to choose between heating up their food. I'm sorry, heating up their homes and getting food to eat. One person that they interviewed said that their house is at 50 degrees and they're fine with that. 50 degrees in the house. I can't do that. Like, and see, we talked about this before, whether you want heat in the summer. No, what do we say? Air conditioning in the summer and heat in the winter. And so here's my thing. If I'm cold in the winter, I can't do anything. I can't move. I don't want to do nothing. I'm not doing nothing. And then now I gotta have on all these coats and blankets and stuff. It's crazy. So the government has stepped in with some aid, but people are saying that it's just not enough. And of course, you have to be at their poverty level in order to get help. The people that are answering the phones for the people applying for the aid don't qualify for the aid. Okay, so I mean, it's horrible all around. It's getting really hard for people. So please, let's keep them in our prayers. And I understand that like a lot of people have always been having to make this decision. Like this, what I'm saying, this may only be new for some people, but a lot of people have always been having to decide between heat and food, heat and medicine, food, and you know what I'm saying, different stuff like that. I get it, but it's knocking on more people's doors now. All right, so that was that for the news segment. If you haven't seen the newest Dion Cole special on Netflix, you need to check it out. Hilarious, top tier comedy. Laughed all the way out loud. Oh, that's hot. Okay, so now for our main segment, why Boaz don't want your ass. And this week we're talking about the pursuit of happiness. Okay. And I put happiness in air quotes because we'll get into that. The reason I wanted to talk about this is because my favorite sister, T has always been my favorite. My favorite sister is getting a divorce. And I don't know, I might be aging myself here, but when we were coming up, like they were, like the black Christian girl role models. They were very much abstinence and saving yourself from marriage. I remember them being on like TBN and just getting on stage giving their testimonies about how they were such proponents for Christ and I remember this about them. So okay, we see them grow up and get married, and here we are years later and she's getting a divorce. And as far as I can tell, I mean, I haven't been hunting it down. But as far as I can tell, her reasonings for wanting a divorce were that she had started therapy and had decided that it was time to search for her happiness. It was time for her to find her happiness, for her to focus on herself. This is why she's divorcing this man after 14 years and 2 children. Okay. And now the thing with that is one of the first questions, were you not happy 14 years ago when you married him? Nick and Nicole, hey girl. Thank you for joining us. Were you not happy 14 years ago when you married him? Because here's the thing, and people will say that happiness is a feeling and happiness is subjective. True. But we all can agree that we want this. Like, we can all agree that, yes, this is the goal here, to be happy, right? Whatever that looks like for you, okay? Happiness for me may not look like happiness for you. You may need more than I need to be happy. You understand what I'm saying? And that's fine. But we can all agree that this is what we want, this is what we work for, right? But what is your idea of happiness based on? What is it rooted and grounded in? Is it based on your bank account? And I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not mad. I would not be mad if you said yeah. Yeah, because the Bible says money answers all things. Okay. I'm not tripping here. All right. Um, but even with that, is your happiness based on something that is as fleeting as a car, your house, your status? Is your happiness based on your popularity? Is your happiness based on your likes? You know, the ultimate goal now is to be an influencer, to be someone that other people follow. Once you set your happiness at a place, you will often find that when you get to that place, it's not what you thought it was going to be. When you base your happiness on temporal things, you know, you work and work and work for that promotion, you work and work and work to excel in that career, and you get that corner office, you finally got that raise, you're finally, you know, you got that title in front of your name or them initials behind your name or whatever. And then it's like, okay, that's great, but what's next? The Bible tells us if we put if we put our desires in the Lord, he will give us the desires of our heart, right? And at first glance, this can seem like, "Ooh, cool, a way to get what I want," right? Okay, I'm gonna spend a little time with God, and He's gonna give me the things that I want. Because right now, I'm worried about um maybe there's another reason why she left. I don't see it. So that's what I said. Like, as far as I had read, I don't know. I This is what she said in an interview. This is what she said. So even if it is another reason, this is what she's saying. This is why she left. Okay, let's see. There was a husband with her situation, a situation with her husband and Kiki Palmer years ago. Oh, really? It seems they had a few issues in their marriage. However, I'm not sure if their divorce stems from there. Okay, well, I didn't know about the Kiki Palmer tea. And I'm not sure if it does either, but you know what I'm saying? That's not what's being said. So I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? I'm just going off. Listen, y'all, I told y'all I'm not chasing the story down, but this is what's come across my timeline. So here I am with that, okay? um okay, so what I was saying about giving you the desires of your heart. On the surface, you could think like, okay, yes, this is a way to get the things that I want. I'm going to totally sell out my platform for Christ, because this is what a lot of people do. I'm going to totally sell out my platform for Christ, and then I'm going to get followers, and then I'm going to get viewers, and then I'm going to get likes. This is not what that means. What this means is, once you begin to put that time, that energy, that effort into your relationship with God, the desires of your heart are going to change. The desires of your heart are going to begin to line up with the things of God that He wants you to be desiring. I'm not gossiping. It's just something I remember from the past. No, I didn't know, baby. All right, ain't nobody gossiping. We just trying to get down to the bottom of the situation. The desires of your heart are going to change, okay? The things that make you happy, that happiness that you're looking for, is going to change. So, to my single sisters, the question is, are you looking for a husband because you think a husband will make you happy? Are you looking to get married because a marriage will make you happy? And here's what I'm saying. When I say a husband will make you happy, a lot of women just like to walk around and say, my husband, my husband, my husband. He will make your desires pure. Constance, that's what I'm saying. Yes. A lot of women just like to say, my husband, my husband, my husband, my boyfriend, my boyfriend, my fiance, my fiance. A lot of women just look forward to the wedding day and the engagement and the ring and the proposal and the parties and then this and the that. But how many of us have taken the time to consult with God about His plan for us, His plan for marriage, and just really lay ourselves bare and open? Even when it comes to the person that we claim we want to marry. I said it before, like, if you can't be 100% honest with your fiance, boyfriend, wherever y'all at, then why are you here? Why are you here? It's not gonna work. It's not going to be fulfilling, because you're never allowed to be yourself. If you're never allowed to be yourself, you can't you can't mature, you can't grow. Okay, anyway, that's a whole nother that's a whole nother road right there. Okay, but a lot of times we go into marriages, we go into careers, we go into education. They love to say that about black women. As soon as we break up, we going to get a degree. As soon as she divorced you, she going back to school. We jump into these things thinking that this accomplishment is going to bring us some kind of happiness. And the fact of the matter is, we were never supposed to base our happiness on these things in the first place. Jay, shalom and shalom. Thank you for joining me. Hey, baby. Hello. Hi.
What's for dinner?
What's for dinner? Boy, come here. Yes, go with your daddy.
No.
Y'all, I prepared notes and everything for today's show, and y'all just coming in here doing other stuff.
What's for dinner, Dad?
You ready for dinner? Come on.
What's for dinner?
These, my family, everyone, my lovely family. And I think that's why people sometimes be like, oh, getting married is an accomplishment. Having a husband isn't an accomplishment, because that's looked at as a thing. Like, oh, child, I landed me a husband. But that's not the end all be all of that. Thank you. Thank you guys. That's not the end all be all of that. Okay, you got him to propose. Great. Awesome. Now what? A lot of times we base our happiness on being able to compete with the people around us. I'm gonna say it again. A lot of times we base our happiness on being able to compete with the people around us. So if this one got a man and this one got a fiance and this one just got engaged and this one got pregnant and your life not moving in that direction, you'll be sitting around looking like, well, dang, what's wrong with me? What am I lacking? Why aren't I, having these things? Instead of understanding that like everybody just moving their own time and in their own season, you'll start to think that something's wrong with you. You'll start to let you'll start to let that affect your own self-esteem. And a lot of times it causes us to make rash decisions that wind up hurting us for the rest of our lives. Your happiness cannot be based on what's going on around you. Okay? Your happiness has to be rooted in what's going on with God inside of you. And here, listen what I'm saying now. I'm not saying that physical things do not affect mood, feelings, emotions. Listen, I am not one for discomfort. Not at all. Nope. I have to be warm. I like my certain blankets. I like my certain pillows, my towel. No, I'm very persnickety when it comes to my things of comfort around me. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not discounting that at all. But what I'm talking about is that happiness is going to get you through some things because you can be living in comfort and, you know what I mean, be going through. Millionaires and billionaires get sick. Millionaires and billionaires deal with tragedy. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's not that like, oh, once I achieve this, um, once I achieve that I'm gonna be happy and everything's gonna be okay. No, that's not ever the case. And here's the problem with not getting to know someone, okay? When you're dating, okay, and it's all flossy, flossy, flashy, flashy, and you never took the time to get to know this person, when reality hits, when life hits, when y'all have a hard month and they have to start telling you no, then it's a problem. Princes of Yah, Shalom, thank you for joining me. If you want to head on over to the YouTube at Monologue Magad, MONOLOG MAGAD, you can see and hear everything. If you're on the YouTube, please like, share, subscribe. If you see the live chat in front of you, hit the X. You'll see the thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up for me. Give me a like, share, send it to your friends. If you don't say, hey, I don't have no friends to send it to, no problem. Hit the share and just hit the copy link, and that will count as a share. Okay. And here's what I mean by getting to know somebody. Have the credit conversation. Have the conversation. Have the finance conversation. Observe what's going on around you. Pay attention to, ladies, I'm talking to y'all. Pay attention to how he's spending his money. And if he seems stressed out. Just pay attention. Does he have an answer for where this money is coming from? Are you comfortable with that answer? And if you feel like he's not telling you the truth, do not proceed. Stop. It's a red flag. It's a big red flag. Stop. Full stop. You cannot go through life with the excuse of ignorance or the excuse of I didn't know when it's time to face the consequences. And here's what I'm saying. You might not go to jail, but if he does, and now your source of income gone, where that leave you? Moving back in with your mama and them? Think ahead. You was happy when it was raining. You understand what I'm saying? Think ahead. Ask the questions. Don't, and if you're afraid to ask questions, then you don't need to be with that person. If they make you uncomfortable asking questions, or if you just don't feel comfortable having these conversations, then why are you even? That doesn't make any sense at all. If I don't know my definition of happiness, if I don't know that to articulate that to someone, okay, we can't have this conversation and we can't compare notes to make sure we're on the same page. And it comes down to more than just where we're gonna live, the number of kids we're gonna have, what kind of cars. It comes down to more than that. It comes down to, do the roles that we play cooperate with each other? And see, here we go again. Like this kind of stuff is like already laid out for us, but because we've been lied to for so long, we forget that we already are given natural roles to play for things to flow smoothly. Okay, now, ma'am, sis, cousin, are you comfortable taking that role under this man's leadership? Does he make you feel safe? Do you feel safe when you out with him? And it ain't gotta be nothing about being a thug, or it ain't gotta be all that. Does he make you feel safe? Do you feel secure in his presence? And if the answer is no, then listen to that voice in your head that's telling you, nah, he ain't the one. Listen to it. Cause y'all will pray and pray and pray. And you know he ain't the one. You know God done told you no 50 million 11 times about this nigga, but you just can't stay away from him. And so now when you're pregnant and he leaving you, or he got these girls calling your phone, knocking on your door trying to fight you, or he done humiliated you for the umpteenth time, and now you crying, you know what I'm saying? Like, the deliverance from the sin is in not committing it in the first place. Sometimes, a lot of times, most of the times. Most of the times. Okay, and so you feel like there's something out there. Like, if you could just grasp this one thing, if you could just have the right labels, if you could just get that look, if you could afford the 36-inch bust down, you keep chasing these things as if the thing is going to unlock some type of cheat code to life for you. And let me tell you that it's not. I can assure you that it is not, because I have went through that. Now, I just like stuff, okay? But there's a difference between liking stuff and trying to buy happiness. And I went through that for a moment, trying to figure I could buy happiness. Oh, if I have this, if I have that. And it doesn't work. It's not true. It's a waste of time and money. A severe waste of money. Happiness is not something that you can tangibly put your hand on. That is true. Yes, it is a subjective feeling. However, it is a very concrete idea that each person has for themselves. Okay. Mexican food makes me happy. Like, listen, ladies, maybe y'all won't admit to it. I will admit to it. I have mood swings. Okay. I have my times of the month where I just feel like I don't know who I am. Okay. I can admit that. Y'all might not want to admit that. I'm going to admit it. Okay. And so on those days, I'm a comfort food person, right? One of my favorite comfort foods is Mexican food. Mexican food always makes me happy, hands down. Sometimes I'll settle for Taco Bell. You know what I'm saying? But like I love Mexican food. It makes me happy, right? Um, but what I can't do is feel like, okay, I can just eat my way. I can just eat my way through this. Right? It's so, and you know why it gets me? Because all the fresh vegetables, the avocado, like all the fresh stuff. So I don't feel bad about eating it. But what I can't do is think that this one thing is going to solve the problem for me. All it's going to do is lead me into a deeper hole of despair because no matter how many avocados and lettuce is in there, too much of anything, as my grandma used to say, is good for nothing. Too much of anything is good for nothing. Okay, well, you done had a hard day, so you gonna go have a drink. Too many of anything is good for nothing. Well, he getting on my nerves, so I'm gonna go hang out I'm gonna go hang out with my girls instead of going home to my husband and talking it out with him. I'm gonna go hang out with my girls, and now you in a whole nother world of trouble because too much of anything is good for nothing. Not saying you can't go out with your friends, but that's not the answer. Your happiness has to be based on an eternal, concrete, solid, everlasting foundation. Because if not, you will never be stable. You'll never be stable. Look, I love my husband. I love him. I like him. He's my best friend. That's my homie. I don't want to go nowhere without him. Do we have moments when we get on each other's nerves? Yes. Yes, we do. I know I get on his nerves sometimes. I know I do. Okay, and that's a part of marriage. It comes with the job. But one of the things that I value so much, that I love so much, that keep me happy about him is stability and consistency. I know that no matter how much I get on his nerves at that moment, he's not gonna up and leave. We can fight, fuss, and argue. I can go in my room and he can go wherever, but we gonna work it out. As soon as we calm down, one of us is gonna text the other one and we're gonna work this out. I know that, and we've grown to this point. Okay. So I'm not saying that everything was perfect when we got married, but we've grown to this point where we don't let arguments get past a certain point anymore. There have been times when we have been yelling at each other at the top of our lungs and just really acted horribly. But we have grown to the point, praise God, where we don't even let it go there. It's like soon as the voices get to raising, never mind. And it's not a rude thing, but we just both understand, like, okay, nope, we'll text about this. We don't need to talk right now. But I know that he's gonna be there to work it out when it's done. I know that. So my happiness with him is not fleeting. It's not spontaneous. It's not what's the word it's consistent and it's stable. I know it's going to be there every day. Before you get the husband, and even after you're married, but for my single sisters, your happiness has to be based on a solid relationship with God. It just has to be. If it is based on anything else, it's not going to last because nothing else lasts. You could listen. And I'm not suggesting this at all. And I'm gonna just be honest with you. All right. I was about to say, you could have a boyfriend for 5 and 10 years. Let me just say this. That is one of the craziest things that you could ever do. Okay. If we are out of high school, ma'am, sis, cousin, what are you doing? It don't take nobody that long. If we're of marrying age, it don't take nobody that long. Excuse me. But you see, when you're single and you're looking to get married, and again, I'm only speaking for the women because I don't know how it feels to be a man. I don't know what they go through. I don't know what that's like. Why is this chair in my way? Um, I don't know what they go through. I don't know what that's like. Okay. So I can't speak for their point of view. I can only speak for the woman's point of view, right? Okay. When we get to that point where we're married, it's easy to start to look for the image of marriage instead of being open and willing and ready to go through the process of marriage. Like I've told y'all before, it is the wife's job to become malleable to the husband. Not saying that your husband should not like change certain things, enlist certain sensitivities when it comes to dealing with you. I'm not saying that at all, but what I'm saying is for the most part, you are going to be following in line with your husband's plan, your husband's vision. So it is your job to bend, shape, mold yourself, conform to what he needs you to be for that vision. Okay? Um, it's like whenever me and my husband come upon a project, we already know he's gonna do the heavy lifting. There's no question. We ain't gotta take a vote, we ain't gotta take a poll. We don't have to waste time deciding this because it's already been established. He's the man, he's going to do the heavy lifting. Okay? I'm going to take care of the feminine duties. I have no problem doing that. I'm not moving a couch, sofa, refrigerator, dishwasher. I'm not demoing nothing. I'll clean it up. I'll carry some stuff downstairs and put it. I'm not. You understand what I'm saying? We don't have to waste our time figuring this out because it's already been determined. How has it already been determined? I mean, God determined that when he made me a woman and him a man. That's it. You want the cheat code to life? That's the cheat code to life. That's the cheat code, but we refuse to use it because we're so determined to do it the hard way, to do it the modern way, to be modern feminist women, and I'm gonna be equal to a man and all that kind of bull. It's craziness. I was watching Court Cam today. There's a teacher who got caught having sex with her students. And she was sentenced to 22 years. And the prosecutor, when the prosecutor was giving the closing statement, the prosecutor commented that, men in her situation have been sentenced to 25 years. So she'd been sentenced to 22 years. So she was up for a sentence reduction. And the judge was like, no, why should I reduce your sentence? And You wanted to be equal to a man, so there you go. Although if it was my son, she probably wouldn't have made it to court. But anyway. So when there are things in place to provide for us already, us walking in sin, walking in rebellion, causes us to deal with things that we were never intended to deal with. You're not supposed to be the head of your household. And again, okay, let me put it like this. If you are working like your husband, however y'all financial plan is set up, work that. But you are not intended to be doing this by yourself. Like you're, as a married woman, you're not intended to be doing this by yourself. Well, if they're single, then who are they gonna do it with?
To be at home with their daddy.
Okay, so that is very true, and that's something we talk about a lot.
My mic wasn't on, so they didn't hear me.
Okay.
No, just when you know.
Okay. And that's something we talk about a lot. The fact that as single women, we're not supposed to be out here in the world by ourselves. And listen, I stand on that. My experience living alone, I did not enjoy it. I didn't. I hated it. And I see the difference in how people talk to me now with a husband and how people dealt with me as a single woman. Even men just have a different respect for you. Like they approach you differently. And let me tell y'all, wives, something. The best way to show your husband respect is to respect him in front of other men. Not only does it gain him respect, but it gains you respect as well. You are looked upon as a woman of wisdom, like a woman who has some kind of sense. And I'm not saying that your husband is perfect all the time, but in front of the public, yes, he is. Like, I don't know if y'all saw that clip with Kendra and Jock, and she was talking about I would never want my sons to be like him. And I mean, just tearing this man down in the public. Who does that? I couldn't believe that. I would never. And my husband would never. Like I said, yeah, he might be getting on my nerves, but you ain't gonna know it. As far as you concerned, he is the most perfect, wonderful, lovable human being to ever squat between a pair of shoes, and that is all you need to know.
And is.
And is. Now, whatever else go on behind closed doors, that's between me and my husband. But that's never public information. I just couldn't believe that she did that. That was crazy to me. But what was I talking about? Oh, see, you had me go off on something else. Okay, so single ladies. Okay, see, I brought up the Kendra and Jock thing, and that just opened up a whole nother door because that's a mess. But so I did not enjoy. I didn't enjoy being single, living on my own. It was just too much to deal with. If you can possibly live with your parents, I don't understand why you wouldn't. I've told my daughters they never have to leave my home until they're ready to get married. It's a tough world out here if you are trying to be ladylike. If you're trying to be feminine, it really is. It's hard out here. People will prey upon you. They will take advantage of you. Horrendous. But anyway, my point that I was trying to make earlier is when you try to step into a role that is not meant for you, it is impossible for you to be happy. You can't. Have you ever tried to walk in a pair of shoes that was too big? You would think that it would be okay, right? Because they're too big. But it's actually hard. It's harder to walk in them because you have extra weight on your foot. So now you have to drag these shoes around that are too big. It's the same thing when you try to step into a role that's not meant for you, your God-given role as a woman, as a female, I know that's a bad word. And even back to the original issue, it was suspected that she wanted to be able to be more free with her social media, with her TikTok videos, with different things like that. And that is what was stopping her from being happy, and that is what led to the divorce.
So because she couldn't goddamn do the knees challenge, because she couldn't twerk, do the
It was
newest
some kind
twerk
of challenge
challenge.
she wanted to do, and he wasn't having it. And just overall
Retarded.
So what what is the happiness you're chasing? If your social media, if your freedom on social media is enough for you to divorce your husband over, and I'm not saying that was it, but it has something to do with it. Per the article that I read, I came in late. Tia Mowry, Tia from Sister, and her husband getting divorced. It was enough of it to be an issue. You understand what I'm saying? So if I don't understand the wanting to participate in certain things on social media if you're already married. I mean, some things shouldn't be participated in at all, single or married. But if you're already married and you already got a man, what are you chasing?
Want other people to look at them?
Other people like who? Are we gay now? Is that what it is? Are you trying to attract women? Because
No, they trying to check other men.
so is your happiness based on getting attention from the opposite sex? You understand what I'm saying? These are the things that come up. These are things that you have to think about. Attention seeking. Right. And let me tell y'all something. It's very easy. How can I put this? It's very easy when you are single and enjoying the dating life to get caught up in the attention. It is like you don't care about a relationship really, you just like attention. That's why it's hard for you to settle down and focus on one dude, cuz you feel like if that one's not looking at you, then it's a problem. Oh, but here comes somebody else. Like we have to like catch that behavior, and we have to put it into that. That is not going to make for a successful marriage at all. At this big age, why is she worried about social media? And so I don't understand that, because here, and she's married, right? She's already achieved that certain level of success. She's already an influencer. She's already gotten TV shows. She's already got like product line. Like she already has the things that people claim they're going on social media to achieve. So for what? For what?
For hoeing.
And then here's the thing, it's not like this some roundaway girl, right? And she's like trying to get a man, trying to get some, trying to even get productive attention, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, okay, even if you get some attention, I just don't.
See, this is, if you don't mind.
No, go ahead.
But this is the problem, because when America's ways become the goal, then what's right now becomes frowned upon. So you have, remember the Currys? Currys went through this a couple years ago.
Yep.
He's just like, oh, so we want attention from other dudes, and it's like when America's ways become the goal, then you don't realize, nigga, you already at the goal.
Right.
I got the husband. I'm straight. I don't want nobody else looking at me.
Right. I don't understand.
I don't want the attention of no other man. Hey, there's less fights that we have to have. It's less. No, I don't gotta tell nobody. No, sir, I'm good. Well, I don't want that attention in the first place. But when America's goals become the goal, You don't even realize you already at the goal.
And
Retard.
right. And so, but that's what I was saying. What is the happiness based on? And okay, let me read this comment. It's the selfish spirit of any means necessary, even if it's at the sake of my family. We are so jacked up. Like, we're so jacked up. We don't even realize, like my husband said, you don't even realize that you have what people want. Don't let these Instagram hoes and these TikTok hoes lie to you. They want a husband and some kids. Who was I listening to? Was it 21 Savage or Drake? It's something, but you traded in a minute for a husband and some kids. Or was that Kanye? I don't know. Anyway, it was somebody. But it's true. It's true. If they'll be honest, if they would be honest, we're all out here looking for love. We're all out here looking for that one person that's gonna love us, that's gonna ride with us, that's gonna have our back, that we can be ourselves with, right? That you can grow with, that you know is gonna be there. We're all looking for it. But in this day and time, instead of taking accountability and examining ourselves and saying, okay, what's up with me? Like, what do I need to change about me to make me a good partner? Instead of doing that, we'll come up with all these lies and fake defense mechanisms. Oh, I don't need a man, and it's everybody else, and it's not me, and people just can't handle my attitude. Cause your attitude stink, ma'am, sis, cousin. Don't nobody want to deal with your attitude. It's one thing to have a bad relationship, here and there. It's another thing when there's always a problem. Always a problem. Always a problem. We can't keep putting our happiness in these superficial life goals. And I'm not calling marriage a superficial life goal. The wedding is the superficial life goal. Because for a lot of y'all, that's the goal. The ring, the engagement party, the wedding process. And then once you get to the wedding, it's like, okay, well, I'm going to live your life. I'm going to live my life and you're going to live yours. And we'll just meet back here at the house for evening activities. Like, that's not that is not the idea behind marriage. That is not two people becoming one. And a lot of people like to just reduce that down to sex. And yes, that's a wonderful aspect of it. However, it goes more than that. Like, I started using some of my husband's words, even though I hate these words. You know what I'm saying? Like, I talk like him. People who listen to me talk sometimes, they're like, oh my God, you're so country. You've been talking to him for too long. You're going to your lives are going to become one. He says some of my words now. My husband, did you ever watch the Golden Girls before me?
Hell no.
Never watched the Golden Girls before me, but something happened and he made a Golden Girls reference and I was like, oh my gosh, like, it's stuff like that. Knowing what each other's thinking, kind of finishing each other's thoughts, being able to fill in the blanks in each other's sentences. That's what you want. That's the oneness that you're looking for in a marriage. Anna, shalom and shalom, sis. Thank you for joining me. Mo, 2 Timothy 3, verse 1 and 2. Can you type it in for me, please, sis? Thank you. That's the oneness that you're looking for. It, and I hate to say this, but like on television, like these husbands are treated like little puppy dogs. Like, the little designer poodles that people used to carry around in the little Louis Vuitton bags and stuff. That's how a lot of these women treat their husbands. Like, look, I have a man. He picked me. and then they hang them up to go and live their life and become the boss chick. But that's not what it is. And there are I'm not going to say all, like I feel like there are like maybe one or two pretty good examples of marriages, but for the most part, you see these women arrive to a certain point and all of a sudden now they have to be divorced. They have to find themselves. This isn't working for them anymore. And then these women are lifted up on pedestals. Portia Williams, whatever issues she had with her husband, those were her issues with her husband. When she first came on Real Housewives, she was a submissive, docile, obedient wife. I don't know what turned her out, but not too long ago, she referred to herself as the princess of Thoughtlandia. Okay? I mean, you talk about a turn. She totally changed. You look at Wendy from Real Housewives of Potomac. When she came on, she was all about her intellect, all about being a professor, all about her intellectual achievements. Next season, she's doing the naked silhouette challenge and she done went and got all this surgery. We have to get back to what God intended as much as we possibly can. And I'm saying that like, it's reality TV. I know. It's horrible. um and I'm saying as much as we possibly can because I understand a lot of us didn't grow up with fathers. Okay? A lot of us may have strained relationships where it's not possible for us to stay at home. We have to be out in the world single, doing it for ourselves. So I get that, okay? But as much as we possibly can, even in that, are we checking in with God about the desires of our hearts? Are we scrolling through Instagram and we're letting that set the desires of our heart? Are we looking at people's fake and posed pictures and letting that set our standard for happiness? Ooh, I need that Teflar. Ooh, I need that Ralph Lauren. Ooh, I need them Gucci glasses. Oh my God, look at that. I have to have it. Ooh, I gotta go here so I can take this picture. I gotta go there so I can take this selfie. Chasing what we perceive to be the fame of these people, the riches of these people, thinking if we follow in their footsteps, then we can have what they have, not understanding that they're only going to let a few in there, and the rest of you peasants can waste your time, your money, and your resources trying to be this. Because if you're not getting paid for it, then we're like we're given a standard to live to. And we've been convinced that this standard for some reason is subpar. That this standard is trying to keep us from living our best life or enjoying our life to the fullest. What was I watching? I was watching something and they were talking birth control. I was watching someone and they were talking about birth control. And I started thinking like birth control causes cancer, right? Um in almost every form. That's why God intended for us not to have sex until we were married, okay? This is why, cuz he knew that this was it's like the things that he meant to prevent us from, the enemy has an answer to. But that answer is only prolonging the death of the thing that you're not supposed to be doing. For example, we know we're not supposed to be eating pork, shellfish, um, any plethora of things, lobster, shrimp. We know we're not supposed to be eating this kind of stuff, right? It causes high blood pressure. It causes high cholesterol. It causes gout. It causes all these other issues. So what do you do when you have the high blood pressure? Instead of you saying, maybe I need to stop doing this, I need to stop doing that, you go to the doctor and the doctor doesn't tell you, hey, stop doing this, stop doing that. What do they say? Take this medicine, it'll be fine. Now, this medicine may also cause you to develop this and have that problem, but don't worry about that. What do they say? The effects of the medicine, the benefits outweigh the possible side effects. To who? Not to the person that is injured from the side effects. Not from the person who is now having to take more medicine on top of that because of the side effects. So to who do the benefits outweigh the side effects? And so this is the thing about obedience. My single sisters, those dating, courting, think about this the one you want to marry. Before you make that decision, you have to understand that you cannot take this man back to Target for a refund. Okay? You can't take him to UPS and send him back to Amazon. Jeff Bezos is not going to annul your marriage. In order for you to depart this situation, you are going to have to go through a very grievous, painful, I'm going to say sinful process, because I don't believe that the Lord intended for any of us to ever divorce. This is not, it's not like buying a pair of shoes. You can't buy this and then it's not even a tattoo. You can hide a tattoo. No, once you cross this line into marriage, you have totally entered another realm of life. I don't know. I don't know exactly how to say it, but you've entered another corridor. Oh, I don't know what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is once you go in, it's not easy to get out. It's not easy to get out. Carefully consider who and what you are saying yes to. My married sisters, carefully consider what you decide to pick a fight about, what you decide to address with your husband. Everything doesn't need to be addressed. Everything don't need to be fought about. You asked him to do it, nicely ask him again. If he don't do it again, is it something that you can do on your own? I know sometimes I don't want to keep asking my husband stuff, so I'll do it on my own. Then as soon as he see me do it, he be, oh, I'll do it. And then he does it.
Hey, no.
What you do? Okay. You may think that you controlling a situation is the key to happiness, that if everybody would just do what you want them to do, the way you want them to do it, then everything will be fine, everything will get better. But the fact of the matter is that is so far from the truth. You yourself won't even be happy because everybody else around you going to be all bound up, miserable, anxious, walking on eggshells around you. Your home should not be an area of hostility. Your man and your children should be able to come home and find peace. Stop trying to be so hard. Like, I don't know how else. Stop trying to be so hard. Stop. We can let go of the burden of being a strong Black woman. Let it go. You don't have to fall into the perceived stereotype of the black mother, the black woman who runs her household with an iron fist and controls everything and knows everything and everyone respect. You don't have to fall into that. You can enjoy life and be loving and happy and gentle with the people around you. You don't have to yell. You don't have to cuss. You don't have to cuss all the time. I'm telling you a battle that I still sometimes fight. Okay. But I've gotten a lot better. But what I'm saying is you can gentle parent as much as people try to tell you that you can. I know gentle parenting looks different to everyone, okay? But I know it's not what I experienced. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure it's not what a lot of you experience. But in order for us to start getting different results for our families and our future generations, we're going to have to start doing different things. Every time you turn around whipping your child, that's not the answer. That's not the way to build a healthy relationship. Sometimes they need to be talked to. Have you talked to them? Have you talked to your husband before you just started going off? Did you clearly articulate what you were trying to say? You'll text him for everything else. Send him a text message. This way he can read it and think about it before he answers you. Or this way he can read it and think about it, and maybe this will help him understand what you're trying to say. When you're in a relationship, like, your happiness is based on the other person's happiness. I can't be cool if me and my husband not cool. Like, if we beefing, I can't just be chilling. Like, I don't want to do nothing else until we get this figured out. That's how it is. 2 Timothy 3:1, this know also in the last day perilous times shall come, for men shall be lovers of themselves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient, unthankful, unholy. Thank you, sis, for typing that in. Thank you. Okay, this the kind of people we dealing with now. You, ma'am, sis, cousin, are setting an example for your daughters, and you're setting an example for the kind of women that your sons will look to marry. And I tell my daughters all the time, watch how you talk to them, because in reference to their little brothers, because however you talk to them, this is how they're going to expect their woman to talk to them. And you don't want them bringing home some woman that's going to be talking to them like that. You're going to be ready to fight her. So stop talking to them crazy. Choose your okay. That's what I'm saying. Choose your battles. Everything doesn't have to be talked about. And I'm not saying that you're not entitled to your feelings. Trust me, you are. Okay, but here's where operating in wisdom comes in. Here's where sometimes you have to learn how to be quiet and walk away. And I know sometimes listen, it's not easy to hold your tongue sometimes. I get it. But I promise you, the peace that will come from it is worth it. Okay? When you are quiet and you let that man come to you, let me speak from a woman's point of view because I don't know. If I know I did something, right, that maybe wasn't all the way cool, and my husband does not throw a fit about it, like he might be like, hey, what happened? And I'll da 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 da. He'd be like,
okay. Hey, why'd you spend even more money? It's probably how this conversation goes in real life.
Right. And I'll be like, I'm sorry this happened, blah, 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 blah. Now, if he goes on and on and on, which he has every right to, and proceeds to give me a lecture, which he has every right to. I'm gonna listen, but my attitude is not going to be what's the word I'm looking for? Exemplary. It's not going to be exactly as it should be, right? But if he how you spend some more money? Yes, I did. I'm sorry. This happened. Da 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 da. And he just be like, okay, and walk away. Oh, now I'm crying. Like I feel so bad. Like, oh my God, what did I do wrong? He's so good to me. I don't deserve this. He's gonna like I'm total meltdown, breakdown. I would like to think that happens the opposite way. Does that happen too?
Hell no.
So it doesn't matter if I nag you about something or if I just walk away quietly.
I can't speak for everybody else, but I know when I'm wrong, regardless of how you respond.
Okay, but in general. Okay, but even if you know you're wrong, right? If I'm pressuring you, arguing you, nagging at you, yelling at you, is that not going to produce a different result than if I just walk away?
Might produce a different reaction,
Yes,
but
that's what I mean,
it won't produce a different result.
Right, but it's going to get me the reaction that I want. Me hollering, screaming, and yelling is not going to get me the reaction that I want, and it's going to make the situation worse, right? But if I'm in control of myself enough to say, okay, I need to take a step back and give him time and give me time. Now we both have had some time and space to deal with our feelings and our emotions. And now it's easier to come back and say, hey, you know what? This was really, really wrong. Or this was messed up in me. Because I don't know about you, but when my emotions go there, like it goes there and it's hard to bring it back down. So I don't even like to let it go there. Like I don't even like to get angry because then it's like a whole, you know what I mean? That's a whole nother thing you have to fight with, a whole nother thing that you have to deal with. Your happiness has to be based on something real, something solid, something stable, something that you have all confidence in. And I'm saying even beyond your husband. Your happiness has to be based on your relationship with God. There's no other way around it. Because if it's not, you'll be looking up 5, 10, sometimes not even years, sometimes months later, not happy, wondering what happened. Where did you go wrong? When the fact of the matter is, you made a bad decision all those years ago. And now the effects, the results of that decision are going to affect the rest of your life. When I had posted about this, somebody made a comment like, well, what about the single people who leave their baby moms and baby dads? Same thing. Same thing. You thought this person made you happy. And so this is, first of all, why we shouldn't be having sex until we get married. But this is also why I say, listen, if you're saying like, I'm not doing this no more, I want to change my life, I don't want to be involved with this, then you need to go immediately. You don't need to linger. You don't need to leave slowly because that's when pregnancy happens. That's when babies come. This is when those life-changing situations happen when you on your way out. It happens all the time in the movie. What happened? The drug dealer decide he don't want to sell drugs no more. Okay, I'm gonna do this one last hit. I'm gonna do this one last thing, and then I'm out the game. And then they always wind up getting knocked, do they not? It's always on your way out of a thing. So just go. He don't owe you nothing. You don't owe him nothing. Y'all ain't got no kids together. Toodles. And move forward so you can move toward what God has for your life. Not keep going in the same circles over and over again as we sometimes find ourselves doing, if we'll be honest. If we'll be honest. I was observing a conversation that my husband was having um about happiness in marriage. And I don't know when we got this memo that marriage was like a prison term or something. Um like we don't choose who we marry. Like we don't have choices in our day-to-day life. And I'm saying that because the responses to what my husband was saying was just crazy. People were like, "Well, you're not supposed to be happy in marriage." What? You're, I don't need to be happy. Dude, what? Are you depressed? Like that's crazy talk to me. And I I really feel like it's even though these are supposedly Christian people saying this, it's still like got that like anti-marriage, anti-family undertone, right? Because these are people who supposed to be pillars of the community saying that no, they're not happy in their marriage. And I get that. I'm trying to communicate something that I'm not sure how to use the word. So excuse my pause. Okay, I get that happiness is a feeling and happiness is subjective, right? I get that because it's nothing that you can totally put your finger on. Oh, I think I have an actual definition. Okay, it's a feeling or showing pleasure or contentment. Okay, that's the definition of happiness, being happy or whatever. Okay, feelings are like the wind. I get that, right? But it is a very real, I'm going to say emotion, right? And sometimes people want to say, "Oh, I'm not happy. I have joy." I'm not really one to nitpick between the two. Because they both manifest the same, they both display the same. But to suggest that happiness is like some kind of unnecessary fad, like it's like a drink. You know what I mean? Like something you might enjoy, but you don't necessarily need. That's dangerous. That is that is dangerous and that's not something that people should be signing up to live a lifetime for. Like I know if I was single and I was observing this argument, I would be like, "Well, what the hell? Why do I want to get married?" But again, if you don't know how to articulate what happiness looks like for you, how can you articulate to anyone else? And this is even for my married sisters. Like, it's never too late to go back and have a conversation with your husband. It's never too late to talk. It's never to plan a date night. Sit him down, have a talk, figure out well, what's going on. How are you feeling? This is what I'm dealing with. You can't have these like fly by night conversations. You have to sit him down and talk to him. Men are not wired to handle emotions like that. Like now, in my experience, I could be wrong, but they're not wired to handle that. Okay, whereas like you might be upset and your mom or your sister might be able to sit down and let you cry and talk to you for a little bit. No, that's not the way you deal with your feelings with your husband, especially when it comes to your marriage. First and foremost, and always pray about it first, but then calmly go and express your emotions. We tend to believe that if we walk around huffing and puffing with an attitude that he gonna figure out something wrong with me and he gonna come fix it. That's not mature and it's quite childish. Nobody can read your mind. And I hate to sound insensitive when I say this, but ma'am, sis, cousin, we got too much going on to be trying to figure out what's wrong with you. Just tell somebody what's wrong with you. If you told him and he not listening no more, then go to management. If you feel like there's something missing and you're not sure what it is, you need to talk to God about that. Like, your husband is not the answer to everything. You do understand that you're supposed to have your own relationship with God to base your happiness off of. Because like even with all your good intentions, you're never going to be a perfect wife every day. Your husband is never going to give you everything you feel you need emotionally every single day because okay, let me just speak for myself. Some days I need a lot. Some days I need a lot of attention. Some days I don't need that much attention. Some days I don't want to be bothered. Some days I want to crawl in his skin. You understand what I'm saying? I can't expect him to know what's going on in my head every day. But what I do know is I have a relationship with God and I could talk to him about it. And I do have a relationship with my husband. So sometimes I talk to him about it. I don't bother him with it all the time. Sometimes I talk to him about it.
You can talk to me about it all the time. It just don't mean that I'm going to understand it every time.
Okay, see?
Because y'all are weird.
But who doesn't think I'm weird? God doesn't think I'm weird.
He think y'all weird a little bit too. He like, I made them, but nigga, y'all ain't got no answers for these women. I'm just saying.
That is not very encouraging. Despite what he says, let me assure you, like, God doesn't think you're weird, okay? He knows that we come with mood swings. He knows we have these emotional upheavals. Like, he knows what's going on in your life. And this is why I tell anyone I ever talk to, be open, be honest. You're not hiding anything. Listen, y'all have to get in tune with your mental and emotional health. All right. I understand in this culture of go, 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 hustle, 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 grind, grind, grind. Our mental health is not given the attention that it deserves. Our emotional health is not given the attention that it deserves. And I understand that some of us is just too busy out here trying to make a living to worry about anything else. I get it. But ma'am, sis, cousin, you need to get it under control. It, as a woman, will affect the quality of your life. I'm not saying that this doesn't happen to men, but again, I don't deal with men issues, so I don't know. I'm just talking to you as a woman. Those mood swings, those emotional issues will drive your family away from you and have you finding yourself alone and nobody wants to be bothered with you. You might think it's cute now while you young and you can still help yourself. But God forbid something happened to you or you get a little bit older and now you dependent on people, but nobody want to come around and help you because of how you treated them. Your actions have consequences, no matter the reason. Well, I was going through this right now, so that's why I did that. But the result of that still stands. Well, I was stressed out, so my husband wasn't paying attention to me. This dude slid in my DM. That action still stands. The consequences still stands. Your husband is still walking out the door. Deal with what's going on inside of you before you ruin not just your life, but the life of those around you. You have to be willing to, first of all, acknowledge that you got some stuff with you. We all do. We all have issues. I told you, some days I don't want to be bothered. Angelina, I used to think that's why God didn't want us to come to him on our monthly because he knew we was a little unstable at the time. I pray, especially around that time, child.
Y'all think that's the only time y'all unstable? She.
Anyway, especially around that time, I pray. Or I be needing the extra help. Shoot. Okay, but and I'm saying what I know. Like I have an aunt, and I'm not gonna say who it is, but they call her mean aunt because all her life she's yelling at us, not wanting to be, always yelling and fussing and hollering at folks. So now you the mean one, and nobody want to be bothered with you for whatever reason. Even if you're saying, "Oh, I was going through at that time," them kids' feelings don't understand that. And even if they try to, as much as they may try to forgive you as an adult, the damage is still done. Like the thing is still there. The time is still lost. So please, let's not keep basing our happiness on the things of this world, on the things that society is telling us to chase. You listen. I remember I was talking to somebody. This is a long time ago, like years ago. And they were like, your clothes shouldn't make you happy, or how you look shouldn't have anything to do with you being happy. And I was like, how I look has a lot to do with making me happy. What I have on has a lot to do with making me happy. And I let them talk me out of it because this was years ago and I was not as strong in myself at the time. But now I'm at the point where, listen, if what I have on makes me happy, then that's just how I am, and I'm going to accommodate that. Okay? You may not need pink and glittery things. I need pink and glittery things. These kind of things, the environmental things that you can change that. Some of y'all just need to get up and clean up the house. Like seriously, it affects your mood. The way it smells, the way it looks, the flow of the air. It affects your mood. Clean up in there. You don't need a bunch of air freshener. If you clean up, it'll smell better. Do something with your hair. I know it's hard. Okay? But do something with yours, especially if you're having a bad day. The first thing you need to do is get up and get in the shower. If you can wash your hair, wash your hair. If you can't, that's fine. Just get up and get in the shower. And if you got to cry, cry. If you need to pray, pray. If you just need to talk to yourself, talk to yourself. But deal with it as much as you can. Don't wallow in your depression. Don't wallow in your sadness. Married women, especially you got people depending on you. Even if you don't have kids, your husband depends on your emotional support. We cannot let our mood swings and our emotions and our temperament dictate our baseline happiness and contentment. We have to be emotionally intelligent enough to realize, okay, I'm just going through something right now. We have to be in tune with our cycles enough to realize, what day is it? What's going on? We have to realize that the things that we eat affect our hormones, and so they affect our emotions. I'm trying to tell y'all, ever since I stopped eating meat or severely cut down, because I still have some meat sometimes, but ever since I've like severely cut down, what? Anyway, anytime since I've severely cut down, like my hormonal imbalance symptoms have been almost gone. In everywhere, my cycle is shorter, my cramps are less severe, my anxiety is less severe, my PMS is less severe. And I know it's hard to make these kind of changes, but it's worth it for your health, right? For your mental health, for your emotional health, for your general well-being, for your family's well-being. Oh, you can holler at my good sis right here. V, if you want to put your IG handle in the chat, she has some wonderful herbal tinctures and elixirs that deal with mood swings, PMS, sugar cravings, all these different kinds of issues that women and men face. But she has things particularly for women going through menopause, all that. And I'm bringing all this up to say that sometimes it's not the other person. Sometimes it's you. Okay. And I know we don't like to hear that because the world has us to think that everyone should bow down to our emotional needs and sacrifice themselves for the well-being, and that's not reasonable. That's not fair to other people. No one wants to live with someone like that. Okay, but every issue that you deal with in your life makes room for you to take on something else that will hopefully be in a positive growth direction. Um Once you tackle your mood swings, your anxiety, your ADHD, now you are able to focus on getting things done throughout the day. Now you can complete a project. I'm the kind of person, when I get an idea, I have to write it down or my brain is like stuck on me trying to remember this thing. And of course, I never remember it. And then I'm stressing myself out. Okay, it's called Herbal Soul Health and Wellness. Y'all look her up on Instagram. Check out her herbs, slide her a DM. She's very, very full of knowledge. I'm gonna have her on the show soon, Lord willing. So you, as much as you can, you are responsible for your happiness, your your mood, your feelings, how you are coinciding with the members of your family. You can't be snappy. Gotta get that man a break sometime. I understand we go through a lot of issues. I get it. It's hard being a woman. But do you not think that that man has his own health issues just because you know, um, their sex specific illnesses are not as publicly, talked about and televised doesn't mean that they don't have them. Men probably don't talk about their mood swings because it would make them seem weak. It's okay for a woman to have mood swings, but you understand? There's so many things that we don't know that goes on, but for you to just assume that, oh, you're the only one dealing with feelings and emotions just because men aren't led with feelings and emotions is wrong. And it took me a while to understand that because my husband, I'm not an emotional person. I'm not an emotional person, but something would happen like I was and he and I'd be like, well, I said you wasn't an emotional person. Took me a while to understand the difference between being emotionally led and having feelings. Everybody has feelings, or unless you're a sociopath, but for the most part, most people have feelings. Now, what you decide to do with those feelings, if you decide to let those feelings lead your decision making, is a whole other. That's the emotionally led issue. Okay, but just like your feelings get hurt, his feelings could get hurt too. He got triggers too. We have to stop being we're and I think this is another reason why we're never meant to live alone, because you get so self-centered when you only have to worry about yourself. when you live by yourself, when you don't have to deal with anyone else, we become so self-centered that when we do get married, it's like a shock to have to consider someone else's feelings and emotions. It's like, what, you care about this? You know, something I shared with y'all before. Coming up with a single mom, it didn't occur to me that men had any preferences when it came to the home. It that didn't occur to me. I just felt like, okay, I'm the woman, so I'm gonna dictate what goes on as far as, you know, the decorating of the house and the layout of the. I'm gonna dictate all that, and he'll just live here. But getting married and my husband being like, well, no, I live here too. I care, you know, I care too. I want to have some say so too. It was like a shock to me. And I had to learn how to accept that. But these are the things that we aren't taught to think about. We're not taught to consider men's feelings. Even if, I'm going to say it, I know some of y'all not going to like it. But even if he quote unquote cheat on you, step out on you, were you 100% innocent in this situation? Were you doing all that you could in that situation? You understand what I'm saying? Like, we have to think about this stuff. How is your spending going to affect your family? How is your career choice? How is that promotion going to affect your family? Now, that's more hours at work and more time away from your kids. Is it worth it to you? These are the things that we base our happiness on, that are fleeting, that are temporal, and that will take our happiness with it just as quick as it bought it. We watched Fresh Prince of Bel-Air a lot in my house. And there's this one episode where she had her talk show, right? And the talk show went national and she was so excited. But then, like, right after it happened, she's like, no, I'm not happy now. I think I want a baby. So it's like that. It's like, oh, I got 100,000 followers. Okay. Oh, I monetized my content. Now I gotta do more. Oh, I did this. Now I gotta do more. And next thing you know, you're on OnlyFans, busting it open, trying to reach this goal.
Sheesh.
What you think is happiness. When the fact of the matter is, if you would let God dictate your happiness, you wouldn't have to degrade yourself. And I say it all the time. Yes, God has brought me from a mighty, mighty long way. But do not look at my grace and take it for granted and or think that it will be sufficient for you. It's only by the grace of God I'm not in a mental hospital, laid up dead somewhere. I mean, any number of disastrous outcomes, which based on my past behavior would have been well deserved. But for the grace of God and the blood of Christ. These things that you think will make you happy are just products of capitalism and some lights and some cameras. Just, it's not, there's nothing in this realm right here. There's nothing in this realm right here that's gonna fulfill everything. There's nothing that you can achieve that is going to fulfill every aspect of happiness, that's going to make you happy. You're going to be happy with it every single day. You're going to love it every single day. Nothing. Even having a family, you're not going to love it every single day. Yes, you love your family, but there are some days when a nigga just want to sleep. You understand what I'm saying? So stop thinking that the one thing is the answer to your happiness. The one thing is the void that you're missing. The one thing is going to fulfill you. We have to start accepting the wholeness of God, the wholeness of his direction in our life, the wholeness of his ruling our life. We have to accept that he wants to have authority in every area of our life. Because if he can't have it all, he's not going to have anything to do with any of it. And nothing you do will prosper. You have to give it all to him. And again, listen, I'm not saying anything is perfect. I can't bet 1,000 on anything, but at least give yourself a chance. Like, at least stack the odds against you. Let's go to practice. Let's work out 2 days, 3 days. Let's do as much as we can to win.
What you know about 2 a days, 3 a days?
Like, I watch TV. Let's stack the odds up in our favor as much as we can so we can win. And so this is what I'm saying about knowing what you want, being able to articulate that, whether you're single or you're married, even in marriage. Oh, look at all the love. Look at all the love. Okay, even in your marriage, like, when y'all had them talks, when y'all had them conversations, do you ever ask your husband what he needs? Do you ever ask him the things that you want him to ask you? Do you ever ask him, how's he doing for real? How's your mental health? How do you feel about yourself? Is there anything I can do to make that better for you? If he's anything like my husband, you already know the answer. But at least you asked. At least he know you asked. What? You know what I'm saying? At least you know he cares. And 9 times out of 10, that's what we want, right? To know that they care, to know that you're thinking of me. My husband went to the store and he got me something. What did you get? He got me something.
No,
But it was real. Oh no, he bought me some cleaning gloves, right? Like multiple pair of cleaning gloves. And I didn't think he had heard me ask for them, but it just made me feel so special because I was like, oh, you was thinking of me. You knew I wanted these, right? Same thing with them. They just want to know that you love them, just like you want to feel loved, just like you want attention. They want the same thing. So what I'm saying is, if you feel like you're not getting it, ma'am, sis, cousin, take the opportunity to be an example of that for him. Start treating him the way you want to be treated in those areas. You start checking on him and let it reciprocate. That's why I be telling you, go to management. Don't argue with him. Get on your knees, talk to the Lord, see what he's saying. Let him turn his heart. The king's heart is in the hands of the Lord, and he turns it whichever way he will. The power is not in your tongue. The power is in the Most High, so give it to him. Okay, but
it's a little power there.
Anyway, thank y'all so much for kicking it with me this evening. Ultimately, what I'm saying is base your happiness on God and his word, and you will not fail. Your marriage won't fail. Your family won't fail. Delight yourself in the Lord. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. On behalf of the House of Mana, I want to thank you for joining me this evening. We're going to see if we have any parting words from the head of the House of Manu.
Thank y'all for coming out. God bless you. Good night. No.
Really? Anyway.
What's going on, kinfolk? Love y'all, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all keep couple stuff, man.
Are we doing Sabbath Night Live tomorrow?
I don't know. Maybe. Sabbath Night Live tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, folks. Join us for Sabbath Night Live. Me and my husband will be here. We're going to start doing some couples things.
Yep.
We're going to start doing some couples things. But hey, join us tomorrow. Bring your husbands, bring your friends. It's Sabbath Night Live, 8 o'clock right here at the House of Mono. If you have not already, please stream. Just hold on. Download the album. Guess what? There's new music coming. So go ahead and catch up on this before the new stuff comes out. Head over to the YouTube at Monologue Magad, MONOLOGMAGAD. Check out all the past videos. Check out all the past podcasts. If you have not already, download the Messiah TV app. Excuse me, I'm sorry, y'all. Okay. Monologue Magad on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Download the Messiah TV app. I'm streaming there live every Thursday, 8 to 10. The Light Hebrew Magazine. If you are not following them, please follow them. Support the good work they are doing over there at The Light Hebrew Magazine. Also, follow Spirit Filled Israel on all streaming platforms. You can catch them with the weekly Bible study in the morning. Very, very edifying, good word. They really go and break down the word on that show. So please join them in the mornings. Again, like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know when we go live here at the House of Mono.
Subscribe to the YouTube, man. I need everybody to subscribe to the YouTube. Everybody go find your favorite video on our YouTube channel and share it and get these followers up, man. We need about 300 more followers, man, so I can go ahead and goddamn monetize, you know what I'm saying? Sheesh.
Yes, give us a follow on YouTube. I'm trying to think anything else that I missed.
YouTube
at Monologue Magad. Again, download the Messiah TV app on your Fire Sticks, Roku, your smartphones, your Apple TV devices. We will be back tomorrow at 8 o'clock with Sabbath Night Live. The preacher's wife. I will be reaching out to you, ma'am, cousin. I don't think you was here earlier, but I just had a crazy week, so I have not reached out to anyone that I was supposed to. So please, y'all, forgive me for that. I will definitely be getting on top of that this week. What else?
One time.
I don't know if I got anything else for y'all. I am the wife of Mono. How about I just be assuming that y'all know who I am, and I don't never put my name or nothing in here. Let me do it. I am the wife of Mono. Please follow me on all your social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram. I ain't really on Facebook. They say Facebook is dying, but I don't believe it because it's still up.
Can't control us. One time for the men doing kind things.
You have anything, sir?
No, ma'am. Hey, man, keep the law, statutes, and commandments, man. The faith of Hamashiach, man. And let's keep growing, everybody. There you go. Sheesh.
All right, ma'am, sis, cousins, sir, brothers, and cousins also, I guess. Thank y'all for joining me this evening. I hope and pray that something was said that will help you on today, tomorrow, or whenever you listen to this, whether it's live or the playback. I hope it helps you in some way. Please hit the like button for me, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Tell a friend and join me back here next week for Why Boaz Don't Want Yo Ass. I'm not sure what we'll be talking about, but we'll be talking about a few things. Let me know what you think of those segment names, by the way. The first one was What's Going On in Babylon. That's going to be our new segment. Second segment, Wickedness of the Week. Just the most outlandish thing I could find.
T, living super clean.
And then our main topic. Let me know. Slide in the DM. I mean, women, not me. Y'all know what I mean. I don't even have to say that.
3 times for my phone. Okay. 4 times for the man can't control.
Oh, we're not. All right, Shalom, I love you. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow at 8 o'clock.
Had a little plan, I had them blew up. Look at you like a man right now. Dressed to the T, smelling like a grand right now. And you ain't got nothing from my hand. Just for hard work,
Thank you, Angelina. Thank you. Okay, we got a love for the segment name, so we're probably going to do that. Okay, I got 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Love you. Good night.
Could have been asking what your info. Prosecutor could be trying to do you in for the